Hello, guys. Welcome again to the Word of Life. Let us continue on the detail of the function of the organs of the body. Today, we are going to focus on the eye. Okay, so the eye is actually an organ for sight. It actually uses a photoreceptor to send the information to the brain. So, before we can move further, I want us to first of all brief about light, colors, and actually how the eye receives image. Let's go. Light is actually a wave that travels with a speed of 3.0 times 10 raised to power 8 meters per second. So it means that the light moves with a distance of 300 billion, okay, 300 billion meters per second. So having said that, yesterday we spoke about the ear. I told us that the ear receive um, information in form of sound wave, which the sound travels with a distance of 330 meters per second. All right, so let us go into colors and also photoreceptors. All right, now like we said, light is faster than sound. Also, the eye receives information in form of uh, light wave. Okay, so anything you can see, okay, anything you can see around you is as a result of the light wave traveling from that object to your eye. All right, that is why if you are trying to measure vision, you measure vision as the distance between the object, okay, and also the distance between the observer. That is vision. All right. Now, light moves into the eye, but before then, it enters through the outer eye where we have the cornea. We have the cornea, we have the conjunctiva. After it passes through the cornea and conjunctiva, it enters into the pupil. Okay, it enters into the pupil. So through the pupil, surrounded by the iris, it will now hit the lens. The lens is actually the crystal glass-like layer in the eye. Okay, when it hits there, it will now, because here we have two medium of different density. The eye, sorry, the light moving from the lighter density because of the light comes from air into your eye. Like if you're in the environment, it is assumed that the environment is occupied with air. All right. So when it enters into your eye will now, because your eye have aqueous humor and vitreous humor, which is actually the liquid-like part of the eye. So, and also the lens. These are thick parts of the eye, so they will make the light to bend. Okay, we call it refraction of light. Okay, so when it makes the eye to bend, sorry, makes the light to bend, this happen because of what? Light now pass through two media of different density. After that, it hits the retina. After it hits the retina is a place where the image is formed. But the image that is formed, remember that anything you are seeing in the environment looks bigger and actual. We call it visual image, okay? Real images, because you touch them, you observe them, you know that they actually exist. Now, if you look at those objects, you will now figure out that the light from those whole objects, if they enter into your eye, it will not accumulate them because your eye looks smaller. So it will now appear into the eye as real, inverted, and diminished. What do I mean? Real is because of it is a real object. Inverted is because of the light passes through media of different density. As it's bent, the image turns upside down. That is inversion. Okay, now diminished means it will appear smaller than the real object. Now it is now left for your brain to dictate that yes, this image is a so size, either is small or large. Okay, so after image is formed in the eye, now the image is now pushed to the yellow spot where it becomes clearer. From the yellow spot now, it now enters into the blind spot. The blind spot is a part of the eye that does not receive information in form of light. Rather, it receives it as an electrical stimuli because at the blind spot, we have the optic nerve. Like we discussed earlier, we said that the brain cannot actually receive information in form of either chemoreceptor or light receptor or any form of receptor, being its pressure. It must be in electrical stimuli. Okay, that is why the whole body is bathed with nerve. All right, so when that optic nerve gets the information in form of electrical stimuli, it will now travel into the optic lobe of the brain, the part of the brain that interprets vision. All right. So when it hits there, then your brain will now interpret what you saw. This process is fast, and also this process is actually how it happened. Now, when we are talking about color, the iris is actually the what we call it, the part of the eye that is responsible for color. That is why if you try to search the meaning of iris on on the Google, or yeah, they call it the goddess of the rainbow. Okay, that is the iris is a Greek word that means the goddess of the rainbow and messenger of the gods, meaning that what the iris is a god in Greek, but they use it for colors because of it is responsible for filtering color because of light is always white. Light is always white, and white is not actually a color because white is a compound or a mixture of 7 different colors. So your iris is now responsible for clearing and identifying a particular color. It means any color that the iris cannot filter, man cannot see it. That's why some organisms, okay, that has ommatidia. Ommatidia means has more than 10,000 lenses and numerous irises. Now, they have more tendency to detect more colors more than man. Okay, so I know that you have learned a new thing today. So do well to follow me if you're not following me, and also do like, comment, and share it with your friends as well. We'll see you in the next video.